Namaste, Amisha Khusro myself Dr. Gaurav Gupta, Assistant Professor, Department of Forensic Medicine and Toxicology, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Today we are going to continue the session of thermal death. In previous session, we discussed about thermal deaths due to the cold temperature or hypothermia. In today's session, we will discuss the thermal deaths due to heat or hypothermia. High temperature exposures may result into heat cramps, heat hyperpyrexia, and heat prostration. Heat cramps, also known as miner's cramp, stoker's cramp, or fireman's cramp, it results from rapid dehydration of the body through the loss of water and salt in the sweat. The causes are usually seen in workers in high temperature when sweating has been profuse. Symptoms: the onset is usually sudden, severe, and painful paroxysmal cramps affecting the muscle of the arms, legs, and abdomen occurs. The face is flushed, the pupils dilated, and the patient complains of dizziness, tinnitus, headache, and vomiting. Intravenous The treatment is intravenous injection of saline. Second one is heat prostration, also known as heat exhaustion, heat syncope, or heat collapse. Heat prostration is a condition of collapse without increase in body temperature, which follows exposure to excessive heat. The cause is precipitated by muscular work and unsuitable clothing. Symptoms: there is extreme exhaustion and peripheral vascular collapse. The patient feels suddenly weak, giddy, and sick. He may stagger or fall. The face is pale and the skin cold. The temperature becomes abnormal. The pupils are dilated, the pulse is small and steady, and the respiration is sighing. The patient usually recovers if placed at rest, but death may take place from heart failure. The third one is heat hyperpyrexia or heat stroke. A fever above 41.5 degrees centigrade is termed as hyperpyrexia, and heat stroke is a condition characterized by rectal temperature greater than 41 degrees centigrade and neurological disturbances such as psychosis, delirium, stupor, coma, and convulsion. The term thermic fever or stroke is used when there has been direct exposure to the sun. Predisposing factors: high temperature, increased humidity, minor infections, muscular activity, and lack of acclimatization are the principal factors in the initiation. Types: the types of heat stroke are one is exertional heat stroke, most commonly occurs in athletes, military personnel, or other persons working hard in a hot environment, or in old persons, usually over 60 years during heat waves. In this classic form, sweating is usually absent. Symptoms: the onset is usually sudden, with sudden collapse and loss of consciousness. In some cases, prodromal symptoms of headache, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, weakness, faintness, staggering gait, purposeless movement, mental confusion, muscle cramps, restlessness, and excessive thirst occur. The temperature rises to 40 degrees centigrade to 43 degrees centigrade or more. The skin is dry, hot, and flushed with complete absence of sweating. The pupils are contracted, the pulse is rapid, and later becomes irregular. When temperature rises above 42 degrees centigrade, dilatation occurs with decrease in blood volume, leading to circulatory collapse and cardiac failure. Hypotension also develops. The fatal period is 5 minutes to 3 days. On postmortem appearance, there are no specific findings. The temperature remains high even after death. In CNS, the brain is congested and edematous, and facial hemorrhages are seen in the white matter. Cerebral hemisphere are increased in weight and show flattening of the convolutions. Cellular changes with pyknotic nuclei, swollen dendritis, chromatolytic changes, degeneration of neurons, and diffuse proliferation of microglia are seen. Changes occur in cerebellum rapidly, which are most striking and consistent, and consist of edema of the Purkinje layer and swelling, disintegration, and reduction of the Purkinje cells. If the person survives for 24 hours, complete degeneration of the Purkinje layer and gliosis are seen. Refraction of the granular layer occurs with prolonged survival. Hypothalamus shows edema of the nuclei. In respiratory system, trachea and bronchi contains frothy hemorrhagic fluid. The lungs show edema, congestion, and hemorrhage. In heart, there is dilatation of right auricle, flabbiness of muscles, pechial or confluent subepicardial and subendocardial hemorrhages, and degeneration of myocardium. In liver, there is congestion and centrilobular necrosis. In kidneys, congestion, edema, and increase in weight. In case of longer survival, tubular necrosis and hemoglobinuric nephrosis is seen. Adrenal gland, pericapsular hemorrhage, engorgement of sinusoids, and cortical degeneration is seen. And in general, pechial and confluent hemorrhages and disseminated intravascular coagulation are seen in most organs. This session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University. Hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.